Okay. So once again, that was Annie Rigney. Annie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, and let me unmute you on my end so I can actually hear you. Um, but once again, thank you. And again, keeping in with the this theme tonight of seeing people you haven't seen for a long time. I haven't seen you for a very long time. And the other theme, which people may not be aware of, is there's definitely a purchase college theme to all of this. And Annie, you and I went to college together, as well as Ariel and I, and all three of us went to college. And I was just when I saw your name on this, I was remembering when we were in like horrifically bad art history class, and just how much I would like fall asleep constantly during it, and like you like elbowing me, like when I can't even remember that professor's name, but she was, I mean, bless her heart, but not the greatest. But Annie, could you let the viewers know where they can go to find more of your work, and also let them know about you're doing some online dance classes, so let them know about that as well.
Yeah, the best way to see some more of my work is just to follow me on Instagram, and that's at Amy Rigney. And then I've been virtually teaching a lot in the last couple of weeks, so if you want to take some free streamed online classes, you can follow Movement for Hope, which is movement_for_hope. And that's on Instagram. And you can also check out the Gaga classes online. We have 8 free Gaga classes a day. And I'm one of the teachers, and the other teachers are incredible as well.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much. Once again, that was Annie Rigney. Thank you for joining us today for La Mama, for Café La Mama Live. Excuse me. I get the brand name. Yeah, no problem. And very quickly, I'm gonna bring in our next guest momentarily, but I was getting some more questions on the third theme of tonight's Café La Mama, and that is about the particular type of tonic that I'm using. That's okay. Okay, so we're back and we're live. Hopefully you can hear me now. So again, like we said, this is a work in progress. So obviously things like my audio going out are to be expected. I just want to quickly we'll do a few little things there because we missed them. One, I think I got cut off in the middle of the discussion I was having about the color of the tonic in this. That's because we're using a friend's recipe who makes tonic syrup. That's why it's brown. And also, I just want to thank everybody in my phone book for texting me to say that they couldn't hear me. It was extremely helpful to see all those texts. So thank you, and please do. If you're watching this at home and you don't like my attitude or what's going on, I definitely encourage you to text me in the middle of this. But without further ado, we're going to move along to our next guest, and that is Amy Lawless. Amy is the author of the poetry collections My Dead and Broadaxe, both from Octopus Books. The chapbook, A Woman Alone, is out from Sixth Finch. She is also the co-author of the hybrid book I Cry, The Desire to Be Rejected, from Pioneer Works. Her poems appear widely in print and online, and she is the recipient of a poetry fellowship from the New York Foundation of the Arts. Amy currently lives in Brooklyn. So once again, up next is Amy Lawless.
Hello, thank you, La MaMa, and thank you, Pierce and Theo, for curating. This is called The Snake. In third grade, my friend drew a picture of our teacher, Miss M, as Eve, nude, extending an apple to her fiancé, Terry, as Adam. A crude snake with tongue forked ogled at the couple from the left-hand side of the paper. Both figures were decorated with generous helpings of pubic hair and around detailed genitalia, denoting this as a moment before the fall. My eyebrows lifted when she showed me during recess. Another girl sang, "I can't believe she drew their bushes," like she'd seen a rainbow for the first time. As I stared at the picture, marveling at its biblical accuracy, I revealed my stupidity by saying, "I don't see any bushes." As the kids, a larger group now, the boys joined, gathered laughing, quite thrilled at my stupidity for not knowing the slang for when pubic hair gathers en masse, or the slang for anything sexual. As I looked at the drawing again, it registered that the only items resembling a shrub or clump of shrubs with stems of moderate length was that hair. Seeing the penis, breasts, armpit hair, and all that bush angered me. I wasn't sure why. Our teacher was recently engaged, and due to this announcement, her potential for nakedness was thrust into my friend's artistic imagination. Not a wonder that this was Miss M's only year teaching at our school. At the beginning of the academic year, she'd asked the parents to choose one word to describe their children. My parents chose amiable to describe me. With our words, we made mobiles about ourselves, which dangled from our classroom ceiling lights like fine jewels. Words hung like stars. Another day, I stood in the back of the room, pulling ropes at an elaborate learning station on Newton's laws, when some older kids wheeled in the TV set. It was January 28, 1986. We screened the live broadcast of the Space Shuttle Challenger takeoff. We stared with mouths open as a teacher from nearby New Hampshire shot into the sky. A camera zoomed in, attempting a steady view. But soon the smoke was a misbehaving white-hot snake, dividing and curving in billowy streamers away from and also toward our Earth. Pillows of smoke bloomed against the clear blue. Miss M turned the off button as tears pooled down her cheeks. There had been some mistake. I craved my parents. They could explain what happened on the TV set and the crying teacher. Miss M talked about the disastrous accident, but I did not understand. I really believed she wanted to show us something horrific. Hand us some kind of fruit. In the back of the room, I pulled a rope, and yet another rope descended, holding a clue about causality for my worksheet on Newton's laws. Was Eve supposed to eat that fruit and hand it to Adam? She was supposedly created an afterthought to keep the men from loneliness. Banishment from the garden was not equal. It was not opposite. Some middle schoolers arrived to push the TV cart away. My friend was suspended from school for a few days for drawing hair and some sex organs, for expressing some vulgar truth. When she returned days later, she was quieter and wore ruddy cheeks. She did not invent the apple or the snake. She did not invent bare breasts or the shame of nudity and sex, or the likeness of Eve to Miss M, or the likeness of Miss M to Krista McAuliffe, the first teacher in space. A teacher exploding and splaying across the screen into smoke and into the Atlantic Ocean was another sort of nakedness. This was a greater shame. What did McAuliffe know about being a teacher, an astronaut, or a mother? All that knowledge offered to Eve in an apple was now not even snaking through a toilet to clean out somebody's shit before it flowed into an ocean. God told Adam that if he ate the apple, he would die, and I guess that's the truth. I snapped my pencil in half under my desk, just to know how it would feel to break in my hands, just to know the sound. And this is called Counterpart. It's named after a show, television show. Counterpart. There's this TV show I love called Counterpart. In this show, the world splits off from ours, but you can get from one world to the other if you go under some parking lot in Berlin. Everyone has a counterpart in the other world who is actually you. After this split, you've been making decisions that diverge from your counterpart. Meeting your counterpart is rare, but not impossible. A swine flu decimates the population in the other world, And as a result, we have better phones and they have better medical care. They don't eat pigs. I can't stop thinking about my counterpart. And maybe she never left Boston. And maybe she never left Roslindale. And maybe she has a little baby sucking on her tit. And maybe she still has her purple childhood bunny named Bop. This morning I washed the kitchen sink with an expressive rage I hadn't felt in years. Wherever you are, Bop, I loved you so. I keep thinking about a person like me in Russia who also played the flute growing up and writes poems and has 2 sisters. She's an adjunct professor. Her boyfriend works in a theater. She's really into making smoothies and YouTube videos of animals. I passed this dumb set of stairs the other day where I sat with my friends before high school began. I remember telling them about these Allen Ginsberg poems I read. I remember calling my friend when I heard on NPR that Ginsberg died, and this blast of movement in my stomach that was the pit of achiness over being sad that he died and not caring at all, and knowing he'd want me or any reader of his work to eventually move on. Anyway, there's a me like that somewhere, not in the world split off, but in the one we have. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Amy. Thank you for joining us in studio live. That was
It's an
a real
honor.
treat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amy, could you? I feel like we're not that we're matching, but I feel there's a lot. I like the patterns going on.
Yeah.
But could you let the viewers know where they can go to find more of your work?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. So my books are available. If you go to octopusbooks.net, 2 of my books are published there. Pioneer Works published a book. I forget their website. And I guess on Instagram at Amy Lawless. And also I have an Instagram project where well, it's an art project really, where I post images of Leonardo DiCaprio and Doritos. It's called Canifa, Cannifa, and then _ we can maybe put that in some show notes or something.
Yeah. Well done.
But that's like an art project where I think about Leonardo DiCaprio and Doritos.
And you also have a new poem coming out, right?
Oh, yes, in Bat City Review. And also Wendy Subway has a publication, The Ritual and Capital book. I have a bunch of animal review poems. They're collaborations. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Amy Lawless, thank you for joining us. Thank you, as I said, for in studio, very special. It's a lot of firsts here for Café La MaMa, including in studio performance.
Yeah.
And up next, we have a very good friend of mine, Jeremy Wiles-Young. Jeremy Wiles-Young is an artist living and working in New York City. He is 32 years old, and he will be our next performer. So up next, Jeremy Wiles-Young. Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah. Thank you, once again, Jeremy Wiles-Young. We can hear you. We can't really see you, but that's okay.
It's dark.
No, I sort of like it. It's sort of like it feels kind of like we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. It feels sort of like we're doing. It's like some documentary where you're the guest that's like your face is blurred out or something because we got to protect your identity.
Yeah.
Although now I can't see you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And again, it's good to see you, Jeremy.
Yeah, likewise.
I know it's been. I guess it hasn't been that long, but this is. I mean, you're one of those instances where like we're really not that far apart, like distance wise, and that almost like makes it worse. Like it's just far enough that like it's a pain in the ass to like get from my place to your place or something. Do a social distance stroll or something like that. But it's good to see you digitally. And can you definitely let the viewers know what it is that like the setup that you were using for your performance?
Yeah, I'm using a custom PD patch of software called Pure Data, and I wrote it all for myself, and I used this library that I put up online that's publicly accessible.
Excellent, awesome.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, let everybody know where they can find your work if they want to follow it.
So I have an artist's website. It's Jeremy W-Y, Jeremy W-Y, oneword.com. And that's where like all the software stuff is and also all my work.
Oh, cool. So can people download a lot of this stuff? Yeah,
it's a library. It's not accessible yet, but the idea is to make it much more accessible. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So once again, Jeremy Wiles-Young, thank you for joining us for the first Café La MaMa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're I know. Sorry, I keep saying yeah. Cool. We're moving right along. We're at the end. I can't even believe it. Good timing. I'm nearly done with my gin and tonic. But the time really did fly. I'm kind of like feeling, I'm feeling a little loose. Like I want to, do, I could do another hour of this. So, so hopefully next time around, we'll have some more performers joining us, so I could get a second drink in me. I hope I'm saying this now as obviously it's live. Like I hope my light is okay. I feel like my face is looking a little dark. But that's something we'll fix up later, I guess, right? But anyway, our final guest is another good friend of mine, Evan Gill Smith. Evan Gill Smith's poetry has appeared or is forthcoming in Conjunctions, Washington Square Review, Atlanta Review, Prelude, Epiphany, Shrew, No Deer, and Horse Thief. He lives in Brooklyn and teaches writing in the CUNY system. So once again, our final guest for this evening is Evan Gill Smith.
Hey, good evening. Thanks, Pierce. Good to see you. Liking the new haircut, the quarantine haircut. You got to get your quarantine do going, you know. Thank you, Theo, for having me. And of course, La MaMa. I'm honored to be here. I'm feeling a little sentimental, you know, not seeing people that I miss. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, so I'm going to read a few poems about Buffalo tonight. And this first one is called Gertrude Stein in Buffalo. A rose, is a cop in a hot tub, is a winter city jalopy with its wheels chopped off. Sometimes when I play with language, it ends up playing me. I talk peace and love for my fellow human beings, yet walk around all day telling words what to do. I'm one bossy ass elocutionist, always expecting people to know what I mean. I had a friend who printed money, then soaked it in lemon juice and put it in the microwave to make counterfeit bills. He got caught and I never saw that friend again. A rose gets the aroma but gets the thorns too. A rose gets its crappy tattoo on so many forearms. Buffalo is a city in the Rust Belt, which is a metaphor for all its industry leaving. You know what I mean? Rust is a flower passed around and sniffed by CEOs. A rose is a foreclosed home, is a permanently creased easy chair, is a jury-rigged stereo in the trunk of a Chevy Cavalier. A poem is a grain elevator dipped in graffiti, obscuring my view of the Eiffel Tower. We used to call it the Chevy Cavalier to make it sound a little fancier, but that was the #1 car in Buffalo for a long time. This poem's called Jankos, about the large jeans from the 90s, but they're coming back. I see the kids wearing them. Jankos. I begged you to buy me Jankos once, Mom. I think they cost $55. It was difficult for both of us. I looked ridiculous parading myself around the mall in those giant tubes of denim, all that cheap blue fabric between my skinny legs and you. I didn't know what I wanted back then. I always tried to get away from you. You who sprinkled glitter on a snowman's face to make homemade Christmas cards. Or you who did that swimming dance from the 60s or maybe the 70s, where you held your nose, bent at the knees, and with your other arm feigned ripples of water. You tried to tell me the story of a bullet lodged in your Uncle Fritz's head. He was a butcher and your father was a grocer and a butcher too. I never knew him, but was upset to find out he was bald. This is how it was. I chose hairline over history in my oversized jeans. One time you let me skip school to help you clean out your mother's house, and I found a box full of her handwritten cookbooks. Leafing through their pages, I felt the hours she put into transcribing her recipes and became hypnotized by the bend of her cursive, the patient loops of her lowercase j's. And I saw your fingers, slow and pink, caressing the edge of those pages. Do you think we ever really see anyone again, Mom? I mean that these moments seem gone. Like when it was cold and you put my sister and I under a fake cardboard chimney, then wrapped us in towels. I was never supposed to forget that, but I did. I still do. And I've yet to figure out what I want. Maybe thinking I will is the problem. It could be life just doesn't make sense. So far, it's felt like tumbling through a giant denim tube, fuzz and muffle covering most of its moments. And this is a poem from my cousin Jeffrey. It's my last poem. Thanks again for having me. Cousin Jeffrey. What if you were entrusted with all the blacklight posters in the world, and together they revealed the true face of God? What if your albino python spelled out the meaning of life in its wood chips? Or if the faster you drove in your T-top Camaro, the safer you became? What if your hair was a dream and your dreams were nothing but hair? If ripped jeans were a full ride to college? What if a barbell in your basement bedroom trained you to love? How much can you bench press? A suitor would ask. How many reps have you done? What if your tattoo toppled capitalism and the faulty system sure to replace it? Or if the sweat from your wristbands repleted our ozone? What if, as your pit bull lay dying, she said you hadn't needed her, that the magic was inside of you all along? What if a tree grew in the spot where you buried her body and you made a choker necklace from one of that tree's roots? What if you were impervious to all judgment, if nothing could ever hurt you? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Evan, for joining us here for Café La MaMa Live. Thank you also for plugging my COVID-19 haircut. I don't know if the viewers can see. It's sort of a mullet. I'm trying to get, and I'm noticing that being inside all the time and just like there's not much else to do other than like look at my hair. And I'm noticing how difficult it is to really find the right shape. Like I washed my hair today, like thinking like, oh yeah, I want to look nice. And I actually think the mullet looks better when your hair is a little ratty. So I'm learning that. I also learned a little bit about you, Evan, when you're talking about the Jinko jeans. And I don't know if I like specifically ever asked my parents for a pair. But I know that the answer was no before they were just never going to do that.
Yeah. The right answer.
Yeah, exactly. But my parents or my father did relent and bought me a pair of you'd probably remember these soaps, those like asinine sneakers with like the grind thing.
You were freestyle walking.
I was freestyle walking, everywhere. Until I think I got like some, not like a real problem, but like my feet were just like killing me. And then I think my dad was like, oh great, so just like $100 on painful shoes.
Those have to be terrible for your arches, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's like no support at all. But anyway, Evan, thank you for joining us for this first Café La MaMa Live. It's great to see you. As I've been saying with all the guests, are all friends of mine, and it's great, like for nothing else than just like it's an excuse for all of us to get together. And it's wonderful to see your face. Before we end tonight, Evan, please let the viewers know where they can go to find more of your work.
Yeah, my last name is Smith, so I have to go use the middle name, but evangillsmith.com, or my Instagram is Evan_Gill_Smith. What did I say? Underskill? Underscore. You know that long. Yeah. So, that's another way. But the website.
And that's Gill with 2 L's.
2 L's, yes, traditional spelling.
Right. And so I don't know, maybe there's like an Evan Gill Smith with 1 L. And I don't know, maybe he's like a psycho. You may not want to, hit up his Instagram or anything like that. Evan Gill Smith, thank you for joining us tonight. It's great to see you again, like I said.
Me too. Thanks, Pierce.
Yeah, so we are at an end to the inaugural live stream or episode. I don't know if you like call these episodes. I know what we're calling them. We're calling them like takes. So this is take 1. Thank you for joining us for the very first Café La MaMa Live. I want to thank first of all, I want to thank all the artists who performed tonight. Like I said, it was just like a treat to kind of get to spend the whole day with all these people and catching up and just having a fun time in general. I also really want to thank Theo Cote for curating tonight. I don't know, there's probably no way of like bringing him on to Live Lab right now, but maybe next time we'll try to have a little bull session with the with the curators for the night. But I want to really thank Theo for organizing all of this, for asking me to host as well. It has been an enjoyable way to spend the evening. We also just want to mention once again that all of this, all of the live stream events that La MaMa is doing are all powered by Live Lab, which was created by Culture Hub. So once again, we just want to give a big thank you to Culture Hub and to Live Lab for basically making all of this happen. Also, I want to just give a very special thank you, huge shout out to Deandra and Sungmin, who are working behind the scenes on all of this. I'm looking at Sungmin right now. who's been, here with me the all day. We're working on cues and all this stuff, so it's great. And I just want to thank both Deandra and Sungmin for all the work that they've been doing, not only on this, but on all of the live streams that La Mama is doing. And next Tuesday at 7 p.m., you can see me again hosting Cafe La Mama Live Take 2. And it's going to be with all of, not all of, but a lot of the front of house staff. It's going to be a front of house staff night. So if you want to see me again, maybe, hear a little pitter patter from me and maybe see how the mullet is going. I'll try to maybe not wash out my hair so we can get it real funky. You can find that next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Also, if you're interested in listening to me talk some more, you can always subscribe to the La Mama podcast, which I host. And we have a variety of other guest hosts that come on and join me. So we had an episode recently with Peggy Shaw and Lois Weaver. That was with a guest host, Amy Surratt, who is a associate producer at La Mama. So you can find that on SoundCloud, but also on any podcatcher that you may use, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. And also, we have a very packed week here at La Mama. So tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., we have our second live talk. And this particular one will be with the founders of NYC Low Income Artist Freelancer Relief Fund. And they have raised, I think, something in the neighborhood of $80,000 for artists and freelancers. So there's going to be a live talk with the founders of that tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. That's going to be hosted by Ryan Leach. And on Thursday at 4 p.m., we have our very first La Mama Kids Online. And this one is going to be, it's entitled DIY Mouse Puppet. And if you go to La Mama, you can see what you'll be making, but you'll learn how to make a very cute DIY mouse puppet. And then Fridays at 8 p.m., we have the fourth edition, the Take 4 of Downtown Variety. And Downtown Variety is La Mama's flagship live streaming performance. So we have a variety of different artists from the experimental theater world. Many artists you'd probably be familiar with if you've come to see shows at La Mama. And they will be performing, a bunch of them will be performing this Friday at 8 p.m. You can find out more information about the guest set list and who will be there by going to lamama.org. And again, you can find out more information about all of the stuff that La Mama is doing by visiting lamama.org. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank you also, the viewers, for spending an evening with me. And thank you all. And once again, I'm Pierce Redmond, if you've forgotten who I am. And thank you all so much for watching. And I hope you'll be watching very soon.